But there are still very important challenges to be overcome for MOOCs to become a revolution that lasts, being sustainability the most important of them. The business model of giving the content for free and charging for the certificate has not worked as well as MOOC pioneers thought, and the effort to make the initiative sustainable is threatening the open letter of the MOOC acronym. Here you can see a list of some of our MOOCs on edX, and you can see that with, for example, for the first one, with 20,000 enrollments, there are only 99 learners that have paid for the verified certificate. In fact, the percentage of students that pay for a verified certificate over the total enrollment numbers is very low, around 1% on average, and that is not enough to sustain the initiative. And what's happening is that looking for the solution to make MOOCs sustainable, we are losing the O for open. Coursera, for example, is not making new MOOCs. They call them MOOCs, but they are not completely free and open. They give some content for free, but the other content is closed behind a paywall. And if in their quest for making money, they extend this strategy, they will end as Udacity, being a very good professional education online institution, but not delivering MOOCs. In fact, they still have quite a lot of courses that you can access completely for free. There is a very good Class Central article telling that there are still around 1,000 courses in Coursera with free access. But for the new ones, they are putting a lot of content behind the paywall, and this is a trend that if they want to monetize and they want to earn more money, probably is going to continue. FutureLearn, for example, the English platform or the Great Britain platform, has followed other strategy to monetize courses, and what they do is to close the MOOC material after several weeks if you haven't paid. And edX is now making several experiments to see how they can improve the monetization of the courses. So we have a big threat in losing the O of the MOOCs. If you think about it, we can see that most of the expenses of MOOCs have been covered by universities. Universities pay for the cost of creating courses, supporting them, but also they have financed some of the most important platforms. For example, FutureLearn has been financed completely by Open University, and Harvard and MIT have put $40 million each on edX. They started putting 60 million, but now they have put 20 million more. And a lot of these universities are reaching some of the goals that they set when they started creating MOOCs. They've got a lot of insights about how people learn online. They have successfully blended their on-campus education, and they have earned a lot of digital reputation, just to name a few. So if courses don't reach financial sustainability in a not too distant future, it's possible that they start cutting the financing. So there are several initiatives to make these courses financially sustainable. One of them is addressing corporation. It's a strategy that is working very well for Coursera and for edX. And it is showing the wide pool of MOOCs that they have already developed and offering them to create new MOOCs and some kind of personalization. They are even adapting their platforms to work with the learning management systems of the corporations, so the courses can be offered directly in these systems. Given the amount and the quality of the courses and the ever-growing needs for training these corporations, this can be in fact, this is being a very successful initiative that can contribute to the sustainability with a long-term revenue stream. Other possibility would be, instead of closing some content in all new MOOCs, like Coursera is doing, is keeping most of the courses of MOOCs completely open and closing only the most professional-oriented ones, using them to finance the rest of the MOOCs by creating another revenue stream. This way, by transforming some MOOCs in professional educational courses, we could help keep the rest of the MOOCs free. And the third revenue stream should come from the governments. Governments should start putting money in MOOCs if they want to keep them free. Some governments are doing it. For example, France with France Université Numérique, the MOOC platform financed by the French government, or Israel with Israel X, that plans to give access to free education to all Israeli population. They have started to do so with teachers in a very cost-effective way that has saved them several tens of millions of dollars. As we can see in this slide, MOOCs are a very good way for people to improve in their jobs. We have lots of examples of the one of Elio that you can see in the slide, with people that have obtained a raise in salary or a better job after taking a MOOC. You can train hundreds of thousands of people in different locations and at different times with a very small residual cost for learner. And given the amount of courses and platforms already available, it would be very easy for a government to experiment with them, putting aside some money for grants dedicated to pay for certificates. For example, you can pay one learner if they have already got one certificate of a certain course or from a certain university or from a certain platform, depending on the criteria of the government. This way, they would only spend money on people that had already finished their training on a previously selected subject, what minimizes the risk of the government in the financing operation. We should probably address accountability so we can control better the outcomes of the courses, but as we will see in a moment, there are technological solutions that can help with that. Other thing that we can do for financial sustainability is to lower production costs by standardization in the creation process. This way is how we at Universitat Politécnica de Valencia have been able to make and support 70 MOOCs with only 3 people and 5 teaching assistants. These are the key ideas of our model. We have a program to encourage our teachers to use technology, so they get used to it and they can manage with the technology when they have to use it. Then we have a very easy video production tool that lets us make this kind of videos that you are seeing now with very low resources. We have created a lot of scripts to automate the creation of MOOCs once we have the videos, and to make it very easy for the teachers. And we have created online material to train these teachers. For example, we have created a SPOC, small private online courses about how to make a MOOC for our teachers. We have an open call for courses that we open every year, so the teachers that want to make a MOOC propose it to a commission, and if it's approved, it meets a minimum criteria, the university supports them with the resources we have. And we have a common support team integrated by these 3 staff and 5 teaching assistants to support all the running MOOCs and the creation of new ones. It's a very small team, but being a common team helps us making it very efficient. Finally, we give the faculty the support they need in the creation process. Some of them, they make the complete MOOC on their own, and others, we help them on each step of the creation process, depending on the level of expertise. Here you can see the studio that I'm using right now to record this video. We call this technology Polymedia, and it is with semi-professional hardware, so it's very cheap, and we have developed a special software for it to get the video directly without no edition. The key is simplicity. It does not need any adjustment between sessions, and it can be operated by a teaching assistant after a couple of hours of training. So after talking about financial sustainability, I am going to focus in some other challenges that MOOCs have. One of the most mentioned problems of MOOCs is its low completion rates. But let's put these numbers in perspective. If we take our first edition in edX, where we had almost 200,000 enrollments, and we divide the number of passing students by the number of enrollments, we get a 7.5% passing rate. You have it in the slide. That is quite low. But if we go and see how many of those 200,000 students made any activity in the platform, we see that only 33.7% of them did. So this 7.5% is transformed in a 22.2% passing rate over the ones that did an exercise or saw a video. And it is because the entry barriers are so low that a lot of people enroll and never show up. If you consider the number of people that was interested enough to take the first exam, then the passing rate goes up to 44.2%. That's a quite different figure. But this is not the only thing to consider. It is probable that a lot of those who started the course and didn't finish it were not intending to pass the course. Perhaps they wanted to learn a concept or two that they needed at the moment, or they wanted to see the videos only and not take any exam, or other thing. So we should look at the motivations of the students to take a MOOC, redefine what is success for them, and measure the success of MOOCs initiatives, asking the students if they have reached their goals, not only by seeing how many of them have passed the course. Because even the ones that are not finishing the course are getting some education, and the percentage of them that are getting the goals they wanted probably is quite higher than the percentage of them that are passing the course. Other thing to improve that I've already mentioned is accountability. We should make MOOCs more accountable so they can be taken into account in consideration by companies, by another universities, and by administrations as something that can be accredited and incorporated in the curricula. There are initiatives with technical solutions like ProctorU that employs human proctors to supervise remotely how the students take the exams, and that is being used in some United States universities for their regular education, or Small that uses the camera and microphone of the student's computer to make random recordings while the student is making the exams, or even while he's taking the course or she's taking the course, being able to supervise not only the exams but also the progression of the student in the course. There is also the OP4RE, that is an European project with several universities that have joined to test and select the best remote proctoring solution. All these initiatives are still very young and they have still quite room to improve, but they are already a reality and they are evolving fast and will be ready for mass use very, very soon. Finally, a very important thing that we have to address after achieving financial sustainability is how to use MOOCs to close the digital divide instead of enlarging it. This is the distribution of the educational background of around 800,000 learners enrolled in our MOOC. If we do like this, we will see that 74% of them have some type of university education and 26% of them come from a non-university background. What does this mean? That we have to do things to reach the less educated population, those from underserved communities who have less access to education. We are reaching millions of students, but there are still much more millions that are not benefiting from this free educational offer. And in my opinion, the main reason it is not lack of technological infrastructure, that it can be in some parts of the world, but nowadays, in a lot of places, people has a cheapest smartphone and a broadband connection to internet before other things in life. And I think that the main reason that we are not reaching this population is because they don't know about MOOCs. In fact, if you go now to the street and ask several people if they know what's a MOOC, probably most of them will answer that they don't. We have to partner with the key agents in each community to locate them and to partner with these people that know how to reach its members and spread the word about this wonderful opportunity.